Right, we're back. No, 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 wrong button, wrong button, wrong button. Oh, that's a list with 100 cities. Well, maybe not 100, but it's at least 90 of them. I don't know how many cities are inaccessible to water. Anyway. The volcano has gone dormant. Yep, this one used to be active, is now dormant. Okay. Looks different too. At least I'm pretty sure it looks different. It has been a little while. Right, so right now the whole thing that we're doing is the slow finishing up of the tech tree. There's only 9 techs left, and assuming I do 5 per session, will be done next session. I highly doubt that though. Generally speaking, things just tend to take a little too long for it to work out that well. So sure, PCs is going to only take like 6 turns in total, but yeah. Anyway, no, great. Oh, great. Yeah, okay, that does make it fairly obvious that stuff's happening. Okay. Yeah. That's not good. I thought it would be okay, so I did think it would be enough if I just removed all of the hidden tiles, but it's fairly obvious that this actually isn't true. I should be able to prevent barb spawns if I grab every single tile, except for this one. This tile is occupied, so I don't need to worry about it. But I need to spread in culture a bit more, in order to ensure that every possible city can have it. Well, I'm once again safe from barbs. At the very least, Mononesia should be safe, except for this one individual. Okay, there's 2 tiles here as well, which is weird because they're in reach of Poison. Look at the sheer amount of culture that the surrounding tiles have. This tile. Okay, not that one. This tile right here has 1,000,000 culture. This one has 800,000. This one actually has 1,000,000 culture, and it's right adjacent to it. Like, not even diagonals. Anyway, back to here. Tree farm, of course. It's the best thing to build. Especially since it provides food, too. Okay. Right. See stuff. My mouse has started double clicking again, which is annoying. I got a new one specifically because the previous one had the same issue. So if I do something that doesn't seem to make sense, that's why. Kawaii is done with its previous queue. Oh, the city doesn't have power, does it? Yeah, no, okay. Then that means that's high time that gets built, the hydro. Then the manufacturing plant. Anything more, we'll have to wait until the city finally obtains power. So, for another bit of behind the scenes, I'm just about finished with editing the previous era's videos. There is a stumbling block, as always, with the final one, because I do need to do the drawing time-lapse for the next era. Because, of course, we jumped to the new era, so the old drawing no longer works. I mean, in theory, I could use it, but I don't know. I like it better this way. That's just how it is. Okay, there's still the solar highway that needs to be built. Railroad. Just keep slowly putting things together. Ah, bit on there was staggered, but I guess the ships are handled differently. Ooh, seal enclosure. Yeah, I'm pretty much almost done. There's a couple of other videos that need to be edited. I still need to upload a lot of videos to catch up, but it's fine to have finished videos in the buffer because that means I can just upload and not worry about, oh, I need to do this first and then that, etc. It makes things easier, plain and simple. Okay, right. The wood-fire dynamo is also fairly effective and efficient, so build that. Subway station's good. Really should build that leather factory first. I can't believe that hasn't been built. Whoops, sorry. That was the show desktop button I programmed in. It's the keyboard. It's right next to the shift key as well, so I slid off a bit, the finger. So. Okay, the natural gas power plant, skyscraper, industrial park, oil power plant. Basically any building with, at worst, 2-to-1 efficiency. I think that's all of them for the moment. Outside of these. You know, just build them. Ooh, you got your mining camp done. Nice. Yep, Atusos is back in business. It's going to be extremely underdeveloped because of, well, previous factors, but I can put it together into something quite productive. Generally speaking, after all is said and done and the obvious stuff is built, the factory is the best option. Let me just adjust the order of those tabs. Okay. Oh, neat. A free dance that will take one turn to build. But why not? I've already put the tree farm there. It's time to handle the lead here. Lead is lead, but it's still a mine, and I've already got lead from elsewhere, so it's not truly going to affect all that much. Tree farm or mine? Tree farm. Rather not into that forest, if possible. Yeah, so I still need to upload a lot of videos because, well, there are, based on my count, 15 industrial episodes. I've only uploaded 5 of them. So, yeah, that's something I'm going to need to pick up on. Quit double clicking, please. Okay, and that should be Mooning's essentials done. At least until tech brings in new science buildings. But yes, they're all. It's still what?
Never trust a computer you can't throw out a window.
That's the original code for personal computers, which is a Civ 4 tech. The one that they've written in but not found a file for yet for whatever reason, an audio file for. People think computers will keep them from making mistakes. They're wrong. With computers, you make mistakes faster. It sadly obsoletes the step reckoner manufacturer and the academy. As well as the officium, but that one's not a big deal. I do unlock this bacteriophage therapy clinic. I think I need enzymes and chemicals and computers for that. Don't think I have all those. I definitely don't have computers. That's something I'm going to need. Design Studio gets me a bunch of cash and a free scientist. Diskettes. The floppy disks. Video game arcade. Karaoke club. There's a free celebrity. Can't wait to get science off of karaoke. Because you see, our top scientists can't figure out computer networks without... Huh. The spacebar can do that. That's new to me. You know what? Where's that computer manufacturer? There has to be a computer factory around here somewhere. Aha! And a diskette. Okay. Let's have you build those, since it's right there. Just convenience of timing, really. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, there's potatoes here. Oh. Fine, built the farm instead. Okay, that's the dirigible terminal. Wrong thing. trading post shouldn't be built. I should instead build the... There it is, the shopping district. First, let me handle these buildings while they still cost only... Never mind. They're inconveniently expensive. Okay, build that. Everything else is also inconveniently expensive. Let me get some of the trade buildings out so I don't need to do those later. Oh, wait. Rope factory as well. It's a rope. Okay. And the shopping district is, after all, useful for producing certain buildings, which are very much necessary in some cases. Oh well. So long as my science continues to increase, it should be fine. I may be able to get 5 through. I mean, I've already gotten 1 tech in and almost the second one, and it's not even 20 minutes in yet. Admittedly, I am rushing through some of this a little bit fast, but I guess now I'm committed. Yeah, no, Modern 9. Okay, that's been handled. Build a marine preserve in order to further upgrade the amount of commerce. Yeah, this is part of where the new science is coming in from. If I improve the water tiles, I can get even more science out of things. But yeah, editing is almost done for industrial. There's 2 more episodes that I can do that is pure industrial, and then the last one will have to wait until I can actually draw the thumbnail, which I'm not sure if I'll get to this week. It's probably going to be next week, all things considered, but I have limits, after all, so it depends on the situation, how things end up. Ancient Customs. So that is the university, so I can build the thing. Okay, the carpenter. And the lumber camp. Both of these take 2 turns. There's so much production that the carpenter should go first, honestly. Yeah, and everything else is just a bit too expensive to be reasonable. But I'm not sure how much of that production is from overflow. I'm not sure that's affected by the percentage multiplier. So I better wait and see when it comes to that.
I think that the online world has actually brought books back. People are reading because they're reading the damn screen. That's more reading than people used to do.
That is correct. People are doing a lot more reading than they were beforehand. It doesn't help that there are issues today with functional literacy rates, but you can blame certain people trying to dismantle the education system on that stuff. But yeah, if things don't go quickly enough, this does mean that I'll end up having drawn the drawing time lapse while I'm still recording the era, which would be a first for this campaign specifically. I mean, doing a drawing while I'm doing something is fairly common, as well as before. That's what happened for a couple things, like the I know for a fact that the drawing for the original Victoria 3 campaign was done the weekend before Victoria 3 actually released. That one was done ahead of time, which was also why I went with a bunch of fairly generic characters, since I couldn't just go to the game and figure out where the flags are stored, which, by the way, I will tell you this, it's not stored as image files in Victoria 3. The flags are all made programmatically, which makes it annoying when trying to figure out what the correct colors are to use. Because normally what I do is I go, when looking for the colors of flags to use, I go rooting around the game files, looking for where the flags are stored, and then using that specifically. Because with that information, well, I just have the image file on hand, and I can just boot it up and pick the color off of there. Anyone that's seen a few of my drawing time lapses already knows that that's how I handle it, so. And that's what makes Victoria 3 a little extra annoying, because the flags themselves don't work that way. Plain and simple. And there's also no immediately obvious image files for Civ, or at least if there are, I haven't found them yet. So I just look for the closest reference to the flag itself, or just screenshot it like I did for the Divergences of Darkness Victoria 3 campaign. I don't remember what exactly I did for Tekken Rose. Okay. Seal. Okay. I'm not sure why you don't have the. Oh, it must have been the Conquest Reconquest cycle. Yeah, that probably did things to your production queue. Okay, build these two buildings. They're quite strong and effective. These +% aren't very good though. I'll take the manufacturing plant though. That one's fairly impressive, at least efficiency-wise. Okay, and then the hydro plant. That should be a good queue for you to deal with for the foreseeable future. Come on. Metropolitan administration is probably the best single thing. Yep. And the manufacturing plant first. Parts plant. I'm uncertain on anything more than this, though. Well, university. The university is fairly obvious in how good it is. That the foundry is fairly good. Okay, the traction from workshop should come before those. Yeah, okay, that should be... That's the parts maker and the parts plant. Okay, modern mine. Of course, judging by the pace that I'm going, that won't be the case yet. I will be firmly in the industrial area by the time I actually do the drawing time lapse. Okay, maybe not firmly, but I'll be at least an episode in, from the looks of it. Which is firm enough in my books. Okay, the roads are in place. I can build a solar highway now. So it's a chariot workshop. And a few other things, too. If I might as well do it this order. We'll take roofs. Okay, there might be more stuff that comes up down the line, but for the time being, that should be fine. Okay, replace the shaft mine with a tree farm because that is resin. And even without any trees, a tree farm where there's resin is very powerful. Ah, just a no. You're not even a holy city. Okay, great artist. Sure. There's no wonder I can make. Theory the HQ's put up. I'm not sure if it's even possible to make one of these. Like, let me have a look and see. Yeah, no, okay. At most, I can have you culture bomb somewhere in the hopes of getting a huge amount of... The problem is, 40,000, isn't all that much, really. I could go for Yaxmotar. Which is already at almost 100,000 culture total. Just plop yourself in there. Another great person is always nice. Anyway, railroad that up. Grab these buildings. Manufacturing complex. I may as well. There's no food to be had on this ice. No other resources either. The manufacturing complex is simply the most efficient building to build there. The sheer production it provides. Ooh, it's quite nice. Right, roll it up. Hopefully the addition of a couple mines near Prague will help things along there. Ah, now that the design studio is available. Because this requires modern offices in the city. And access to power. Oh, and it also requires computers, which I now have, so. The thing is, it has a free scientist, so it does provide 3 production. And it's insanely cheap. For some reason. I'm not sure why. Compared to the other things, though, it is very much a cheap building. Although composites are not easy. So. Or well, modern composites, I should say. Okay, so yeah, I need to build Silicon Valley in some city, just so that I can start getting the computer networks in every city. Plus 2 trade routes and an engineer slot. Okay. Should be good now for that city. Okay, the mining camp. Oh, it's oven wheat. Okay. You're finally done and ready. Okay, let's see here. You absolutely need that lumber camp. Let's get these crows as well. You don't need that. Do you have the engineering school already built? It looks like it. I don't see the engineering school anywhere, so I would presume so. I don't really have any other option. Okay. After those are done, just go for the factory. I can't exactly produce power without the factory, so... Not without a ridiculous wonder from Atom Punk, which I still haven't got. I don't think I even... Do I have Diesel Punk? Yeah, I do. It's Atom Punk that I'm missing.
They put over 100 million transistors on a tiny piece of silicon. On that piece of silicon, there are more lines than there are on a roadmap of London, and they work. There are very, very few errors in a microprocessor.
Microprocessors are just ridiculous. The sheer amount of complexity put into one of them, yeah, it's astonishing. You know, you need a workload as well. There, and rush so I don't have to deal with it. The waiting time, anyway. Okay, railroad that up. You know what? Just build suburbs. I don't build many of those. But they do the job that they're supposed to do quite well, so. I think that's out of reach of any city. Yeah, it's pretty much one of the only tiles in this portion. Except for this one and a whole lot of this. There we go, Maginot Line. Free barricades in every city on the continent. They don't provide much, but they exist. I am not liking the random forts being placed everywhere, but at least they're getting rid of all the cultural issues. No, cultural border issues, I should say. I've gotten so used to having blitz, haven't I? It's a bit too used to it. Okay, 3D modeling is when things are going to start becoming tricky again, because that's a building I definitely want to have. Oh, it's just serious. I don't even do wonders. You're missing quite a bit of other stuff. Maybe I don't see how that's going to get me food, but okay. Sure, add it to the list if you want. After all, 3D modeling unlocks the computer-aided design studio, which provides plus 25% production. This is actually quite helpful. Of course, it still does run into the issue of one simple thing. It requires the 3D animation studio to be built in the city. Annoyingly, the 3D animation studio does not provide any production whatsoever. Yeah. So that means I have to work around that. Sure, well, manufacturing complex. It's no tell where that works. Okay, screw it. Let's. That may have been a dance right there. Oops. Honestly, the fact that every tech, regardless of how far ahead it is taking this into... Oh, God. This is why I don't use the bunkers. You should be able to resolve that without too many issues, hopefully. So I hope so. Alright, mine the tile. There's sulfur there. So it should be a target. Okay, wait, which was that? What button did I just click? It's just Century Land. Okay, that's not that bad. Still, I do not want to hit buttons on accident. I'd rather every button be intentional, so at least I know what I'm doing. An accidental button hit can cause accidents, to put it simply. Okay, we've got the North American culture here. You know what? You can do a wonder. Sure. Yeah. What foreign buyers? Extra science from the universities. We may have to wait a turn, because I think that's from the previous turns. This fact. Nope. It already updated. I don't remember what the previous number is though, so... But it's definitely an increase. I can say that much. Okay, aluminum smelter, design studio, energy drink factory first, and then the design studio. Solar highway, plant. Okay, modern earthworks done. What next? Smith, it's a bit too pricey, but the straw gatherer works just fine. That's not great. This isn't terrible, at least. Man, isn't it great when there's no good options? Okay, traction engine workshop. Manufacturing plant. Save the rest for a future time. Hopefully there'll be at least another couple mines in the area in order to really start beefing up the amount of production the city has. Okay, so we'll do 3D modeling and one more tech. Hopefully the tech won't take too long. I don't want this to take much longer than an hour. Mine. And then we'll get 3D modeling.
No one who has experienced the intense involvement of computer modeling would deny that the temptation exists to use any data input that will enable one to continue playing what is perhaps the ultimate game of solitaire.
Heck, the CAD studio also has, yeah, well, it's not a 3D animation studio, it's CGI animation studio, which also requires an animation studio. I mean, the CAD studio requires the construction firm, but I get those for free, so. Something I'm gonna have to start doing in cities. The production queues. This city is too early in its list in order for that to be a concern, though. Especially since the assembly plant provides exactly that amount. Which is not a good sign on how fast I can get things out of the city. Well, built in the city. Because the assembly plant is supposed to be one of the faster ones. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, I am not liking the look of any of this. Manufacturing plant and modern earthworks it is. Oh, time to work my way towards that stone. UFC 104, Blitz is not required. Okay, Chariot Workshop. The Metropolitan, yes. Absolutely that first. Parking garage. I guess the international port. If it's anywhere close to accurate, then that's going to be quite the help. I need the asphalt roads for other buildings. I guess I can do these mines real quickly. Yeah. And the smith. Anything further can wait a bit. University built. I don't see that. Okay. I guess the thing has already been built, the engineering school. Is that? Well, factory it is. Really is nothing else to build. Yet. Not without electricity. Well, and the factory is needed in order to start providing that stuff. So. I'm not gonna mine the tile yet. I'm heading specifically for the stone first. Because a stone quarry is still better than a random old mine. No shit, not again. That's just a locust worm. Those don't really count. I think they're just considered barbarians in order to avoid triggering the subdue chance. Because how exactly do you subdue a locust swarm? Yeah. It's an odd question after all. Ooh. Arctic 4. We're breaking out the cold weather gear with that one. Something happened with the... Oh, maybe it's the Great Person Timer for this city specifically. I've never really paid attention to that. Is that changing like that every time? Huh, fascinating. Actually, what are the ones that are missing here? Yeah, obviously. Okay, the animation studio. Well, I do need a bank, and there's also all the science buildings that haven't been built yet. I'll get the bank. Okay. Yeah, the CGI studio isn't here yet. So, I need to figure out where the animation studio is. It should be fairly obvious. It's a black and white building. Well, it's based on the old colorless cartoons, is what I'm saying, the image. The problem is that picking it out of a list, it's not exactly the easiest of things to do. Especially when it might not even be buildable. Don't remember what it does. Okay. Maybe with that knowledge I can... Culture. Gold? There it is. Especially since I don't think there's a building that can provide the animation studio for free. Or the CGI studio. Let me double check. Still haven't figured out where in the list it's supposed to be. I can click this in order to see where the CGI studio is. There it is. Nope. Oh. Okay, I can get the movie theater for free. There's at least that. Okay, so it costs 10,000 production, 1650. And also 1650. 16K 50. Railroad. Huh. I mean, the episode's guaranteed. It's only 2 turns left, but the episode's still guaranteed to be over uh, an hour long, simply because I am not going to be able to shut up for a while. Admittedly, I haven't actually been doing all that much. I've just been hacking away at the last of the things. I mean, if I start doing the overview now, hold on, maybe, but... all I've pretty much been doing is go through, well, research PCs and go through the texts that are behind it. Robotic success, and then I need to do these two, long-range forecasting and climate models, then urban culture, which I was leaving for last, and then information lifestyle. I may manage to reach information era next episode. You will probably have to wait until the one after that, but I mean, it depends on the exact circumstances. If I decide I want to start colonizing the last couple spaces now, then there will be some level of finagling about with units, specifically the transport, the oceanic transport. Otherwise, there isn't going to be all that much of that. And I think the next turn is still going to take like a full minute, so... nope, this is not going to be less than an hour. I mean, you people already know this.
The real problem is not whether machines think, but whether men do.
Skinner. Right, that unlocks the robotics lab and the BattleBot arena, which is also very fun. No cities. Okay. There's at least that. Yep, modern APCs. Is that really the turn? I mean, I could cut it off right here if I wanted to make it an hour, but nah, that'd be ridiculous. Especially since we're still I'm gonna let it go through these, at least. No, something... okay. Just click on it? No. Oh well. I've already showed the tech tree. 4 attacks left. Long-range forecasting, which will take 6 turns, climate models, which will also take 6 turns, urban culture, which will take 7, and then finally information and lifestyle, which will take 9. These early techs all only take 9 turns. Nice. I mean, the next stage takes 10, which is already it's a bit long. level. At least that's how it's starting to become now, all things considered. Yeah. Funny how it goes, isn't it? Yeah, I've noticed automated workers have started building forts everywhere, which at least means that the cultural borders are closing up, which is good because I have been having issues with barbs spawning over here, which is not a good sign. I'm pretty sure there aren't any ships around unless there's some up here that I haven't seen. So I think due to lack of spawnable fog of war tiles, they've started spawning, well, for lack of a better term, in merely unoccupied tiles. This is far from good. However, Atstalon only has 6 turns left, and then we'll start spreading its culture too, which means the last of those should be gone. And if there are any barb ships that I need to look for, they'll spawn in this area. They'll be there, or close by. So if need be, I can rush a ship, have it deal with the barbarian ships, and done. It's also probably a reason to go for this because I don't know if barb ships spawn in the ocean. If so, then that'll be an issue regardless. But if they can spawn, they will almost certainly be able to spawn here in these waters. I can tell you from experience that the seas are among those that count as spawnable spaces at the very least. So. Oh no. There's modern infantry and a big game hunter there. Okay. I'm gonna have to handle this next time though. Anyway, I think I've gone on long enough. Oh, that tile needs a mine, not a factory. I thought it was mining the tile? Maybe I wasn't. Anyway, I'll see you again next time. Until then.